All right, this is episode 16 of the Bullheaded Podcast. I'm your host again, Sean Tyson. Here are my guys, Zoo and P. Bush. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man.
LeBron about to make me some money, man.
My
That's all I'm about to do. It's been good, man. Dude, when you don't have a dog in a race like my Bulls, irrelevant, put some money on the Lakers and you'll be happy, man. NBA is a lot more entertaining.
More like just put money on whatever team LeBron's on.
Dude, he gets it done, man. There's no Golden State super team. It's all good, man. You got LeBron and AD. Kobe and Shaq reincarnated, man.
This is a perfect year for him, man. This is a perfect year for him.
Yeah, every star aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about to get his fourth title.
Well, speaking of the NBA Finals, as you can see, Zoo kind of alluded to it. The Los Angeles Lakers have jumped out to a 3-1 lead. They're getting ready to try to see if they can finish them off Friday night. They're going. I think they're wearing the Black Mamba jersey, so I think that might be a good night, Irene, for the Miami Heat. But we're going to get these guys' thoughts on what they think is going to happen in Game 5. And P. Bush, I'm going to start with you, man. The Miami Heat.
Oh, dude. Once I saw Goran and Bam go out, man, I kind of just signed away the series. Jimmy Butler put on a god-level performance in Game 3. Wish he would have done that for the Bulls back in the day, putting up 40, 13, and 11. Didn't happen, but you know what? Hey, this guy has carried this team further than a lot of people would have expected this year. Obviously, he's been missing, Bam for a couple games, and then Goran injury has been crucial for the Lakers, obviously, but more so against the Heat. I do think that the Heat will steal Game 5. I think that Bam having another game under his legs, just kind of getting out and playing again, I think they could steal Game 5. In the end, I don't think that the Heat will end up winning in 7. It'll be pretty tough without their second main scorer in Goran. But I do think that the Heat can steal game. They've clearly shown that they've somewhat figured out the Lakers a little bit, at least the ability to keep themselves in the game, give themselves a shot. They just, towards the end of the past couple games, the Lakers end up doubling up on Jimmy, and they have no one else to give the ball to take over and score them a bucket. Tyler Hero he likes to take the big shots, but he's kind of been off of this series a bit. Duncan Robinson's been hitting some ridiculous threes, but I just don't see the Heat putting it together for 3 straight games to close us out. But I do think that they can steal Game 5, and I think Jimmy Butler will be the guy, and I think he'll have to drop at least 35 to give him a shot. But the past 2 games have been more competitive. Obviously, the Heat won one of them. It's been interesting to watch. I've still had a fun time watching it. But, man, that Heat team without Goran is completely different. I don't want Kendrick Nunn on the floor.
Absolutely, man. Dude, without Goran Dragic, man, dude, the Miami Heat are the inferior team.
Yeah.
And they don't have their bullets not fully loaded because Dragic got plantar fasciitis, man. So after those injuries, I was just like, it's over. It's over. But dude, but LeBron James, when he goes up 3-1, he gets the deal done. He ain't Kawhi Leonard choking against the Nuggets. He ain't Kevin Durant choking against the Warriors. He ain't Steph Curry choking against the Cavaliers, man. When LeBron goes up 3-1, he's going to kill him. He's a killer, man. This dude's going to get it done against the Miami Heat, man. It's just, I'm sorry. I wanted a competitive series, man. I wanted 6-7 games, but I saw a 5-game series because LeBron James teams usually have one game where they just don't get it done, but he's going to get it done in 5. They're getting the Black Mamba jersey. Him and AD are just playing at a ridiculous level right now, especially Anthony Davis on defense. Man, his defensive job on Jimmy Butler was fantastic, man. Every time Jimmy went to the rim, man, he's just hesitant, trying to be more. Exactly. Trying to be more of a distributor, but Jimmy needs to be in attack mode. He needs to be like, I got to get 30, 40. He needs to go Allen Iverson for this thing to get it done. Legitimately, he needs to. I want Jimmy Butler to shoot out 25 shots this next game because he got nothing else to lose, man. I don't want Duncan Robinson taking contested 3-point shots. I don't want Tyler Hero pulling up, man. I want Jimmy Butler, the best player on the team, to play like a franchise player and take over on this team because their offense is just him driving and kicking. And I don't really trust those Miami Heat shooters, especially those young guys in the playoffs, especially in the finals against such a veteran experienced team, even though you watch this Lakers team, man, it's just 2 guys and a bunch of good dudes, man. Just a bunch of dudes. KCP has one good night, people going crazy. He hit a corner 3. Big deal, man. These clutch sports clients.
2 big shots.
Okay. These clutch sports clients, man. Rich Paul, unbelievable. Most valuable agent. This dude got Deion Waiters, J.R. Smith, KCP, all jobs on the Los Angeles Lakers, man. That dude better be getting a ring. Because half the roster is freaking Clutch Sports clients. Like, legitimately, man. Like, holy cow, he got it done, man.
He's got to have LA connections in some sense. There's no way he was able to do that otherwise.
No, it was just LeBron connection.
That's fair. That's fair.
Him, it just like half these guys wouldn't be the league without LeBron James' connection with Rich Paul, man. You kidding me? J.R. Smith was sitting on his bench. Deion Waiters got high and got kicked off the Miami Heat for eating an edible. And now he's about to win a championship against the Miami Heat.
And he would have gotten a ring either way, Deion Waiters. He would have gotten, even if the Heat won, he would have gotten a ring there too, even though they had a bad blood ending. But Zoo, back to your point about Anthony Davis. He's personally, obviously, I think the Lakers are going to win as of this Thursday before Game 5. I think the Lakers will end up closing out the series, likely in 6 for me. Zoo's probably thinking they're going to close out tomorrow night on Friday in 5. But Anthony Davis has been the Finals MVP for me. He's been arguably LeBron's most talented teammate that he's ever had. He's not the best teammate he's ever had, but he's the most talented. His best teammate was Wade. I thought Wade formed LeBron to the man that he is today on the basketball court, taught him how to lead a team to a championship like Wade did back in 06, dropping 35, doing whatever it takes for your team to win. I feel like LeBron learned that from him. But if you're talking about an absolute dog on the court, Wade, towards the early on in those Heat days,
those last 2 years were a little sad, man. He was putting up 15 points in the playoffs.
Right. And his first year when they lost to the Mavericks in 2011, Wade was still averaging like 25 a game. But you could see that was kind of when his decline happened. LeBron was really taken off in the leadership role of a team. But Anthony Davis has been phenomenal in this series besides Game 3. He's making jump shots at will. Half the time I'm watching and I'm like, that's good defense by Olynyk or whatever, but he's just making every single shot. It's been fun to watch this Lakers team play. I do still got to give a shout out to Rondo. I thought he's really stepped up. Of all the role players you mentioned, Zoo, Rondo has been the best. He's been a facilitator. He loves to run the court, even in his 30s, man. Future Hall of Famer. And this is solidifying.
Future Hall of Famer?
Rajon Rondo? Absolutely. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe playoff Rondo is a future Hall of Famer. But
that's part of him.
Regular season Rondo, man, that dude got kicked off the Mavericks for being so bad, man.
Dude,
they kicked him off the team.
He's going to end up having 2 championships. One as being arguably the coach on the floor for that Celtics team back in 2008. Yeah, he was the coach on the floor. He almost beat the Miami Heat in 13 or 14 in the Eastern Conference Finals. He almost single-handedly took them back in that series and won.
Yes.
He went God mode. He's one of the best player coaches I've ever seen, up there with the CP3s. He knows what he's doing on the court. He's got one of the highest basketball IQs, and he has arguably been a huge difference in this series. He's playing the passing lanes. He's given Tyler Hero a hard time. He was giving Goran a tough time, maybe even affected the injury with his defense. I have no idea. Obviously clean play, but dude, Rondo has been pivotal. I don't think he has any, obviously not considering him in the Finals MVP discussion, just saying his importance to this team in this series. But dude, LeBron's going to do his thing, man. As usual.
Okay, I like Rondo. I was hyping playoff Rondo before the playoffs started. But Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
stop.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me? Hall of Famer, half of the dude's career was irrelevant. Like, legitimately half of it was he was a nobody. He's a nobody.
What are you talking about, Andy?
Regular season Rondo, which is not that good, man. How many All-Star appearances this guy got?
Probably three?
Kyle Lowry's got more, man. Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's got more playoff experience. Yes.
Sure, that's fine. But dude, Rondo is like a pivotal player. I'm actually very surprised that you don't think he's good. He's a 3-time All-Star. He's led the league in assists multiple years. He's gets it done on defense. He's arguably one of the best defensive point guards ever. I don't know. I don't know what you want to say about that. I know it's off topic, but dude, Rondo is an absolute Hall of Famer, and that's not even a question. Maybe not first. He's not first ballot. Not saying he's first ballot Hall of Famer, but he'll get into the Hall of Fame someday. Absolutely. No, that whole Celtics team, they had 4 Hall of Famers on that team. They had 4 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, dude, no. You know, right now, Chris Webber's not in the Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, because he never won a championship.
He never won. Career. Oh,
but
I don't give a damn if you don't win a championship, man. Do you know what
accolades
happened?
mean?
Tim Donaghy happened, man. Tim Donaghy.
So?
What? That dude was gay.
That doesn't mean they would have won the finals, though. That means they would have had the chance.
It gave the Lakers extra calls because he bet on the Lakers.
Dude, all I'm saying, but he didn't get a championship.
It was a corrupted game. It was corruption, man.
But dude, the Hall of Fame looks at accolades, and championships is arguably half the team that Bill Russell played with that did nothing. They all made the Hall of Fame because they won championships. That is literally all they did in their career. That is it. And they made the Hall of Fame. Accolades are huge. Winning is huge. You know, titles are huge, as assists, all that. I don't know. I don't know if we want to go into that topic any further some other time. But dude, Rondo is an absolute Hall of Fame point guard.
No, Chris Webber, 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, man. Come on, man. Rondo ain't good as Chris Webber. Stop.
I mean, they're different positions.
Rondo is a great role player right now, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me ask you. He might be on the cusp of winning 2 NBA championships for 2 of the most glamorous franchises in Boston and LA.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. Like, that's major. That's major.
No,
that's you're blasphemous, Andy.
When I say Hall of Fame player, do I have second thoughts of this guy go in? Yes, I think Rondo, Hall of Famer. No, that's my thought process. When you say that name, do you have to think about it? And I have to think about Rondo because if you look at the regular season, his numbers are not that impressive. They are not Hall of Fame numbers. I always say in the playoffs, he turns it on. He's a great player, plays defense, high IQ, probably be a future head coach. But a Hall of Famer,
okay.
No, I'm not putting him in my Hall of Fame.
Would you put Derrick Rose in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, I'm biased.
Okay, then exactly. So right. So my point is, if you're putting Rose in there, you're putting Rose in there for literally one reason, being the youngest MVP
He won the
ever.
MVP. He won the MVP.
I would say that versus 2 championships.
More impressive. Yes.
The 2 championships.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God, man.
Championships is a team accomplishment. MVP, that was me. I was the show that year.
One time, and then he's done nothing since.
Yeah.
That's it. At least Rondo's like 36. He's had a long career. He's been playing for 14 years. He's always been
kicked off a team, man. You cannot push that off the resume, man.
Dude,
the Dallas Mavericks kicked him off.
Right.
So toxic.
Rose sat out an extra season. Then when everybody said his doctor said he was ready to go and all that, and he's like, I still feel bad. I can't get over mentally.
Man. He tore his knee.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord, man.
We can't get into that. Yeah, all the way. Lakers in 6. Heat are winning Game 5 for sure.
Okay.
Right here. All right. Switching gears. Heated debate as usual, guys. But switching gears, we're gonna go to the NFL. You know, there's a lot of crazy things been going on in the league with COVID testing and all kind of weird stuff, cancellations. But there have been a few surprises, good and bad. You know, a couple examples, the Green Bay Packers. I mean, you can kind of say that's a surprise. People have been looking for Aaron Rodgers to fall off, but he's been balling out this year. And also, you can also see on the other coin, the Atlanta Falcons. They've started out 0-4 and blown a bunch of leads, and we're not sure how long Dan Quinn's going to last. So I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is the biggest NFL surprise team? And Zoo, I want to go with you.
I'm going with the Green Bay Packers, man, because you know why? Because Aaron Rodgers last year, I had him as my fantasy quarterback. I watched him play. He was not good, man. I'm sorry. I'm the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time, talent-wise, that arm, the ability to scramble, the ability to replace his IQ of the game. But last year, he just missing throws, man. I can't even blame his receivers, man. Are you kidding me? Last year, Aaron Rodgers, I had him as an MVP candidate, and he put on mediocre standards relative to the other stud quarterbacks. But this year, came back with the vengeance, man. 4-0, his point differential of 51 points, looking like the best team in the NFC, man. This guy put on a show, man. The Green Bay Packers are about to replace this man because of last year's performance. They drafted a QB in the first round. They thought this guy, in a couple of years, was his future replacement. They think this guy is a future Pro Bowl quarterback. That's why they drafted this man. That guy, I haven't heard of that guy's name ever again, man. What's his name? Jordan Love. Jordan Love. I haven't heard that name
love right now.
Oh, man, he ain't getting any love right now because they see Aaron Rodgers play, and they're like, God damn, should have got this guy more help, man, on the defensive end of the game, man. Because Jesus Christ, they're in Super Bowl mode right now, man. NFC wide open right now. It is wide open. I don't see any great teams that I fear in the NFC right now, man.
Maybe the Seahawks a bit.
Tampa Bay
Maybe the
looks good.
Seahawks.
Seattle, zero defense. Aaron Rodgers against a zero defense Seattle Seahawks going to be putting up buckets, man. The only way to stop this Packers team is having that type 49ers rough defense, man. Getting to the quarterback, that elite defense, like just getting to the quarterback and making Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable. Because last year, 49ers punked the Packers, man. The Packers didn't even look like they belonged in that game.
They wrecked them.
Dude,
it
was
dominated.
Even competitive, man.
No.
Like, I'm watching this team. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they look like the New York Jets right now in the playoffs, man. It's embarrassing. Because right now, and I don't see any elite defenses in NFC. I can't think of one that like actually scares me, right? So if you don't have an elite defense, you give Aaron Rodgers throwing to Alan Lazard, man. Bunch of no names. Robert Tonyan, man. Devontae Adams injured. Man,
don't hate on
Rodgers,
Tonyan, man.
Oh, stop. Bunch of irrelevant, non-first round wide receivers and pass catching players, man. Aaron Rodgers making this team look great, especially that offensive line. They always had a great offensive line. Aaron Jones, man. Holy cow. Last year I thought it was an outlier, man. All those touchdowns, 19 tutties. Holy cow. Aaron Jones playing like an MVP running back right now, man. In the red zone, they have been money. Just cash money. Dude. So Packers right now, they're the best team in the NFC right now. They're the best team in the NFC, and they caught me off guard. I am a Packers fan, and it caught me off guard this year.
Yeah, and a lot of people called the Packers season last year like a fluke, right? They went 13-3, right? They went 13-3 in a first year with a new head coach. They had a pretty easy schedule last year, coming off a more difficult one in the prior year. You know, they struggled in 2018, which allowed the Bears to take the crown that year of the division. Aaron Rodgers he's coming out hard right now. Now they haven't played. I know the Saints have probably been one of the more disappointing teams this year.
I think they're still a solid team.
They're a solid team. That's probably the best team that they've beaten so far, and it was kind of in a shootout game. I think if, to your point, Zoo, that Seattle doesn't have as good of a defense as they used to have, I think that the Seahawks-Packers would be a great shootout game to watch if that's what it comes to in the NFC.
Amazing.
In the NFC side of the playoffs, that'll be fun. And I agree, Zoo. I think in the NFC, they've been arguably the most surprising team. But for me, I'm picking a team out of the AFC as just a big surprise. I'm picking the Indianapolis Colts. Ooh. I think a lot of people picked, and I shouldn't say a lot of people, I think some people picked the Colts as actually a dark horse Super Bowl team to come out of the AFC.
Super Bowl?
Dark horse, Andy. Come on. I know you hated on the Miami Heat a while ago. They're in the finals. All right. So a dark horse team, not to win it, but to make the Super Bowl and represent the AFC. Some people were picking the Colts. Now, when I'm watching them play, I'm thinking, all right, Phillip Rivers throwing 25 picks a year. This team, they have arguably one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL. They're number one in passing and rushing, top 2 or 3 in rushing. These guys are shutting down. I mean, this Vikings team that they played a couple weeks back, the Vikings have obviously come into their own. They have a very high-powered offense. They made Kirk Cousins look like a JV quarterback. He threw 3 picks, had 113 yards on 44% completion, and they shut down Dalvin Cook, who's arguably a top 3-4 running back in the league. He's unreal, and the Vikings have rebounded. So you can see what their offense potential was, and then seeing what the Colts did to them. It was ridiculous. This team reminds me a lot of the 2018 Bears. They have such a dominant defense that will keep them in every single game. Their offense is a little streaky, but I think the big difference between the Colts and that 2018 Bears team is that their offense doesn't make that many mistakes. They don't throw for 350 yards a game. They don't rush for 150. Phillip Rivers will throw for 200 and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor might get 80 and a touchdown, but they don't turn the ball over. And I think that's been the biggest thing that this team has maintained. They lost Marlon Mack, who was arguably their starting running back coming in. I know that they were going to give Jonathan Taylor a shot, and it's obviously paid off now that Marlon Mack is injured. This team has kind of blown me away. It'll be interesting to see their Tennessee Titans matchups, though, because the Texans are 0-4 in that division. Obviously, the Jaguars are super streaky.
Terrible.
Texans, obviously, with Romeo Crennel apparently stepping in as the interim head coach, I believe. It's really going to come down to this division is the Colts and the Titans. They play in weeks 12 and 14, I believe, barring any more random bye weeks for COVID.
I hate the Titans right now.
Yeah, dude, they've screwed me over in multiple DraftKings lineups, fantasy, all that stuff. But look, I think this Colts team is going to be interesting to watch. They're going to give any team. I think I would love to see the Colts play the Chiefs in the playoffs just to watch Mahomes play against that defense. That would be, I think Mahomes might, I think he would take that game, but I would like to see how he actually does against that good of a defense that a lot of people were kind of setting aside towards the beginning of this year.
You know what he would do? He would win, get the dub. Remember that 49ers defense? It was a historically great defense.
He struggled. He had a horrible Super Bowl. He did struggle.
He was horrendous. But what happened in the fourth quarter? Wasp! Woo! Tyreek Hill, baby. That's how he gets it done, man. It takes one play. The dude does not get rattled. He can be down 14 points. He can be down 21 points.
Oh, my
God. Look at his weapons. Travis Kelce on one side. Tyreek Hill on one side. Let's get it done. Dude. That offensive line with Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Are you kidding me?
He's been underperforming, by the way, in my opinion.
He's a rookie, man.
For a first-round fantasy pick?
Dude, they're not using him as a workhorse running back, man. And, dude, if someone want to trade Clyde Edwards-Helaire, slide in my DMs. I want Clyde Edwards-Helaire on my team.
I may hit you up on that. I may do that, honestly.
Yeah, I want Clyde Edwards-Helaire on my fantasy football team, man. Are you kidding me? In that high-powered Chiefs offense, they're not using him as a workhorse back. But that offense.
Yeah, he's not at every down.
You like the great offense versus the great defense. I'm more about the great offense versus the great offense, man. I want a 40-45 point shootout, man. So when you said that Green Bay versus Seattle, that got me excited, man. That got me hyped, man.
That's true.
But I haven't even thought of this. Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
That's what I want. That is another one. But but you know what? Tonight we're going to be able to say Nick Foles versus Tom Brady. This one's going to be a shootout for the ages, man.
Oh, stop!
I'm just kidding.
Foles. The Chicago Bears, man. The Chicago Bears, man. They got to do some firing. That's what they got to do.
They need to
Ryan Pace.
No, fire Nagy. Fire Nagy.
No, Nagy's a good coach, man.
Are you kidding? Dude, look at it. His play calling is atrocious. He gets too cute. He's like, I got to throw him off guard. Does this random
You got to be cute when you got Trubisky.
Not when you have 3rd and 1. Not when you have Nick Foles couldn't get like any first downs except for the final 2-minute drive that they made all last week.
He's a backup quarterback, man. Nick Foles is a great backup quarterback.
They don't have a starting MVP, Andy. Don't sell him short. Super Bowl MVP.
I'm not going to sell him short, but that's an outlier. Do you know what I call that? That was the Iguodala Finals MVP year, man.
Oh, my God, Andy.
No, that was the Chauncey Billups Finals MVP year. And they got the award, but that just like, you ain't that guy, dude, man. You ain't that guy.
In 2018, the Eagles had like a 5% chance of making the playoffs. Carson Wentz gets injured. Nick Foles comes in for the last 4 games, takes them to the playoffs.
Happened, man. The stars align. The solar eclipse. We saw a miracle happen. I don't believe in multiple miracles, man. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it, man. Are you kidding me?
My God, Andy.
Man. The stars aligned. Everything went great. He won a Super Bowl MVP. He got paid. He deserves it. But come on. He's a backup quarterback.
He's getting paid too much.
Real quick.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, P-Bush. If you could get in this upcoming draft, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Trevor Lawrence, or Nick Foles, who are you taking?
Sorry, you said Trevor Lawrence, Nick Foles, and who else? Or Trubisky?
Trey Lance. No, Trey
Lance.
Or Justin Fields. I'm saying, would you rather have an upcoming guy? Because they're saying those are the top 3 guys, and they're like all elite.
Right.
And then you still are like, you're going to go with Nick Foles. To me, I'm not saying tank because you guys are 3-1, but I mean, I think that they going. That's a tough question because they moved up to get Trubisky. They gave way too much to move one spot, right? A lot to move one spot. They traded away a lot to get Khalil Mack. They don't have, which means they'd have to kind of trade to get a pick in order to draft one of those guys in the first place. Yeah. I personally would let Nick Foles play another year and just whatever happens. No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying they're going to win. No,
that's
dude.
Fine?
No, not when you start.
Man. You got a great defense, man. You got
oh my God. Dude, they don't have a first-round pick this year. All right, they're 3-1 already. If they tank now, there's no point. So do another year and actually tank from the start, and then start focusing on how you want to rebuild this team, because it's not going to happen this year, and you're not going to get Trevor Lawrence or any of the other dudes.
I'm just thinking,
right?
Why did the Chicago Bears get Cam Newton?
I agree with you. That was my thing. I was like, dude, we need to sign Cam. I don't get that.
Do you know why? Ryan Pace is stupid.
Dude, the Patriots are 2-2.
Cam Newton getting paid $2 million, man, for a Super Bowl, for an MVP quarterback.
And don't say Super Bowl. He got crapped on in the Super Bowl, man.
Super Bowl, man. He made it to the Super Bowl. It's impressive. Yeah. Cam Newton is that quality of a QB, and they're like, nah.
So did Nick Foles.
So stupid, man. If the Chicago Bears had Cam Newton, they would be Super Bowl contenders.
It doesn't fit Nagy's system as much, though.
It doesn't matter, man. You coach.
Nagy's all about the system. Mind, man. Nagy doesn't change for anybody.
You gotta adapt, man. He would adapt to Cam Newton, man. You would adapt to Cam Newton.
Clearly not enough to sign him.
Did Bill Belichick adapt to Cam Newton? Ooh, they look good when they play, man.
I don't know, man. Nagy, I think that they should give the play calling ability to the actual offensive coordinator for one game and see how it differs. I would love to see it just because I want to see if it's actually the QB problem or if it's the play calling issue. Because Nick Foles has struggled the same way that Trubisky has under that system.
I don't know, man. Backup quarterbacks.
Andy, dude, Nagy, it's clear that Nagy just doesn't know what he's doing half the time. He's aggressive in the first 2 quarters, and he just completely takes the foot off the gas pedal, doesn't run the ball, just runs slant routes the entire game. And I'm thinking, give it to David Montgomery, get him 3rd and 2, and then you can decide to do something cute to get a big play. I don't know. Bears are always an anomaly to me, man. They give me a heart attack every week, and I'm bound to get another one tonight.
Yeah, you know why? You got backup QB throwing picks, man.
My God.
Man.
Well, speaking of, I guess backup quarterbacks and players that you can maybe play in your fantasy league. We talk a lot about fantasy, and I'm just going to be honest. I'm not a fantasy guy. I'm not a guru. I'm very familiar with the players, but in terms of picking every week and guys getting injured, I'm not real good at that. But the 2 guys that I'm talking to are pretty good at fantasy, and I think they have some winning players, as they would like to say, for fantasy. So, P. Bush, I'm going to start with you. Who do you think are some winning players that you can win in fantasy with?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I wrote down a couple names respectively at like different positions. At quarterback, the 2 guys that have stuck out to me this year that, I don't know, Dak and Josh Allen are easily the 2 most fantasy stud quarterbacks this year. Aaron Rodgers, like you were mentioning earlier, Zoo, he's been playing great. I'm interested to see if he's able to keep it going, but Dak is a guaranteed like 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, even a rushing touchdown here or there. But I got to toss in Russell Wilson's name too. He's always consistent. He's probably the most consistent of those 3 guys. But if I'm playing week in, week out, playing DraftKings, or if you are able to make a trade for them or already have them on your team, Dak and Josh Allen are must starts at this point. No matter what, Dak's been throwing the ball a ton because the Cowboys just go down 20 and they try and make a God miracle comeback. And it just hasn't worked besides the the Falcons, sadly. But a couple other guys that stuck out to me. Alvin Kamara, obviously, he's been the biggest stud at running back. Aaron Jones, too. But at running back, I think the biggest surprise, and a lot of people that were able to make the pickup, and this is probably my biggest thing, is James Robinson. I think as a waiver wire, if you were able to pick him up off the waiver, he's a number 1 running back that is showing to be a number 1 fantasy running back in fantasy this year. If you were able to make that pickup or are able to trade for him now, do it. This Jags team is just going to try and stay in games as much as possible. They're going to use him in the passing game a ton if you're in a PPR league. He's been a pretty pivotal player for a lot of people because maybe they just didn't draft that well and skipped on some running backs that weren't that deep this year, but they were able to make the James Robinson pickup. Props to you if you made that pick, because I don't think a lot of people saw that coming with how early on Fournette was traded. I got to give a shout out to Sean. I think Sean may have James Robinson in our Straight Up Sports Fantasy League. So James Robinson, my pivotal player, man.
I like those players. You named my guy Josh Allen, man. Dude, I have Josh Allen in all my leagues, man. Do you know why? This is a trend I noticed in fantasy football, man. There's always one quarterback that goes super late for some reason that the fantasy community ignores just for some random reason, man. There's that one year with Mahomes, the first year he started. Nobody talking about Mahomes. Guess who got Mahomes? Me. Lamar Jackson, that MVP caliber season last year. Nobody talked about it, even though we knew about his rushing ability, the great coaching. MVP caliber player, man. If you had Lamar Jackson last year, you probably got the Super Bowl. You won your fantasy league, man. And this year for me, my pick was Josh Allen, man. Coming in, trying to be more of an accurate thrower, man. He has improved substantially. It also helped with Stephon Diggs.
Stephon is huge.
One option as a route runner, as a deep threat with those hands. He's drastically helped that Bills offense. Like, the Bills are ridiculous, man. The way they progress up the field, it is like
effortless,
fast, man. Like effortless. The ability for them to like just progress and get into the red zone. Like, so Josh Allen never threw a pick in the red zone so far in his career yet.
Unbelievable.
Josh Allen in the red zone is incredible because of his ability to run at 6'5", man. That's like a linebacker, man. Like at the 1 year line, just run it in with Josh Allen, man. This guy has a legitimate opportunity to win MVP this year, man. MVP. Woo! I said it. MVP. You know the NFL. It's gonna be a quarterback. So it's going to be a quarterback, man.
Yep.
Obviously quarterback. And MVP, you like getting the new guy that comes up, man. And guess who's the new guy? Josh Allen, man. Because you know, Aaron Rodgers, everyone knows Aaron Rodgers is MVP. Mahomes won an MVP. Lamar Jackson won MVP.
Russell needs
Russell
one.
Wilson has not won yet. So he's the biggest competitor right now.
Yeah, it's them too. I agree with you.
Especially with that bad defense so far, man. Russell Wilson
can't win.
Dallas Cowboys got to win some games first. So Russell Wilson and Josh Allen are my two MVP candidates right now. But in fantasy football, Josh Allen looks like a league winner right now, man. And I need him to play this week against the Titans because I need those 30 points, man. That's what the average. He's averaging 30 points a game right now as a fantasy football player.
I think Dak is too. Yeah. They're easily the two best fantasy players right now, point wise. This
is like historically good for a 4-game start. Maybe the COVID season making that inflation I was talking about. I like it. I love inflation, especially on the offensive end. I need those tutties, man. It makes football a lot more fun. So those guys are getting it done. And Josh Allen, beautiful, man. Beautiful. And also got to give a shout out to Kareem Hunt, man. Kareem Hunt, this dude, ever since I saw him in Kansas City as a rookie and drafted that dude, absolute RB1, workhorse run guy. He can catch the ball, could run the ball. And dude, the Cleveland Browns O-line is good. It's a good O-line.
I think they arguably have the worst team that is best on paper. Like on paper, they have an absolutely stacked team, and they've never actually been able to just put it together. But dude, they're 3-1 right now.
Yeah,
they're 3-1. Like they have a legit shot to make a push in that AFC North this year. It's going to be fun. Zoo, I do got to go back to your Josh Allen point though. I think the Bills arguably have one of the most underrated wide receiving cores in the NFL. They got Stephon with John Brown, who's a great second option. He was good as a first option, but he needed another guy. And then you got Cole Beasley in the slot, who is a top 3 or 4 slot player in the league, in my opinion. Consistent. He'll give you 6, 7 catches. He's willing to lay his body out, take the hit. Small guy. He's pretty much a more lucky version of Austin Collie back in the day, who had to end up leaving the league with a bunch of concussions because he just played the slot too much. Cole Beasley knows when to just get down and take the yards. He's a smart player. Jalen's got a lot of weapons around him. They are missing Zach Moss, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills, shout outs to them, man. They've been impressive. They've been super impressive, man.
Yeah. This could be the first year that Patriots don't win the division in a long time.
Yeah, especially with COVID, man. It's over for the if Cam Newton's out for multiple weeks. It's true.
Brian Hoyer.
NFL QBs, man. Those backups get real ugly, man. Like I remember I was hyped for that Kansas City Patriots game. The minute Cam got COVID, I'm like, it's over.
I didn't watch it.
Man. It was so boring. Man.
Yeah.
So boring.
The Chiefs weren't even playing that well at first.
You know why? Because how Cam got COVID, come on, you kidding me, man? We don't want to play against Cam Newton.
Well, they didn't have any Hoyer film to study either. Oh man. It's been a really fun year for fantasy though. A lot of, like you said, Zoo, inflated stats, but there's also been some people that just really haven't turned up. Not as many wide receivers, just studs this year. I don't know. Like Amari Cooper I think he's leading wide receivers in points, but he's only scored once. He's only has 1 touchdodown. Like there's, I think Calvin Ridley's leading with 4 touchdowns. He was a donut for me last week. Without Julio for the second half. But man, it's been fun to play fantasy. I think running backs and quarterbacks have been the most exciting to watch so far this year, though.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. Shout out to my boy Keenan Allen. Shout out to that guy. He's been balling. Shout out to Keenan. Shout out to Tyler Boyd, man. That dude's been balling too, man. Shout out to my entire fantasy football team, dropping 160 like it's nothing for the last 3 weeks, just smacking opponents like it's nothing, man. That team is silly how good it is right now. Shout out to Alvin Kamara.
I got to give a quick shout out to Justin Herbert, though. That man almost beat Tom Brady in a shootout. He could be legit. The Chargers may have found a diamond in the rough with him if he keeps playing at this level. He's a smart guy out there on the field.
What's up with these rookie QBs, man? They all look good. Joe Burrow looks good. He just looks good.
Well, he was a first overall pick. I would hope so.
I don't know, man. Dude, there's a lot of busts. Baker Mayfield does not look good. Trubisky doesn't look good. Is that easy? Man, if the Chicago Bears had Joe Burrows.
Please. Joe Burrow, Andy. It's not plural. Come on.
Man, he's that good. I'm having an ass, man. He's that good. I'm having an ass.
That's fair.
Yeah, I would agree. The quarterbacks and the running backs have definitely been a big factor in the fantasy this year. I have Lamar on my team, and he's helped me win at least one game. But I need him to pick it up. I'm sick of the 99 rushing yards and 102 passing yards. I need more on the passing. That's been killing me. That's been killing me. Been killing me.
He's living. This is why I told you, man. I did not like that Baltimore Ravens team. I don't think Lamar Jackson got better as a passer. Not his fault. He's not a natural passer, man.
He didn't have OTAs this year.
Wow. Look at Josh Allen. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I have nothing to say.
Josh Allen has a naturally strong arm.
Oh, absolutely. We've known that, though. We've known that. He's what, and you, Zoo, you said this to me. He's what Trubisky should have been. Josh Allen. A running quarterback, physical. Obviously, he's bigger. He's got Big Ben's frame, but he's fast.
Huge,
and it's ridiculous. It's hard to bring him down. He's shifty.
He pulled a Marshawn Lynch a couple times. They just shoving people.
Yeah.
Jeez, shout out to Josh Allen, man. Thanks for balling.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. We could talk fantasy for hours. We do it after pod anyway. So I don't want to bore you guys with that that's been listening. But like always, you guys should subscribe to YouTube. Make sure you like and comment. Make sure you get on Apple, Spotify, download, follow the page at bullheaded_pod. I put a lot of great content on there. And I'm going to let P-Bush get to this Chicago game. I don't think they're doing too bad right now. It's not a blowout, but they should do fine.
Early.
It's early. But as always, it's Sean signing off with Zoo and P-Bush.